What if I told you that the clutter in your home is silently stealing your peace, your safety, and even your joy? For many older women and seniors, 2025 feels like a year of transition, a time to finally focus on health, freedom, and creating a home that supports the life you want to live now. But here's the truth. Clutter doesn't just make your space look messy. It can weigh you down emotionally, drain your energy, and even increase your risk of accidents. Imagine this. An older woman walks into her bedroom every morning. She opens her closet, only to be met by clothes she hasn't worn in years, shoes that hurt her feet, and scarves she doesn't even remember owning. That moment, instead of feeling light and free, fills her with stress, guilt, and frustration. Does that sound familiar? Now here's the shocking part. Studies show that clutter doesn't just affect our homes, it affects our health. Research from Princeton University found that physical clutter actually competes for your brain's attention, leading to increased stress, reduced focus, and even lower life satisfaction. And for seniors, clutter in walkways or around furniture can lead to slips, falls, and dangerous accidents that could have been prevented. That's why today's video is so important. Because decluttering isn't about getting rid of everything you own, it's about keeping what truly matters, letting go of what doesn't, and creating a safe, calming space where you can finally breathe again. So, in this video, I'll be sharing 10 must-know declutter hacks for older women in 2025. These aren't overwhelming, one-size-fits-all tips. They're simple, gentle, and designed specifically with seniors in mind. Whether you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, these hacks will help you simplify your home, boost your confidence, and create an environment where you can thrive. But before we jump into the list, let me ask you this. If your home could speak, what story would it tell right now? Would it whisper comfort and freedom? Or would it reveal piles of things you no longer need, quietly holding you back? Stick with me until the end, because I promise you, hack number 10 could completely change the way you see your wardrobe, and it might even save you from the exhausting cycle of decluttering again and again. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Hack number 1. The 5-minute daily declutter rule. One of the biggest myths about decluttering is that it has to take hours of your day, leave you exhausted, and force you into tough decisions all at once. That's simply not true. In fact, one of the most effective ways older women and seniors can start decluttering in 2025 is through something I call the 5-minute daily declutter rule. Here's how it works. You don't need to clear out your whole closet or organize your kitchen in a single day. Instead, set aside just 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, look around your space and choose just one item that no longer serves you. Maybe it's a pair of shoes you haven't worn in 10 years, a handbag that's falling apart, or even a stack of old magazines gathering dust on the coffee table. That's it. One item, 5 minutes, every day. It might sound too simple to make a difference, but let me share something powerful. Psychologists have found that small, consistent habits are far more likely to stick than overwhelming bursts of activity. And for seniors, this method eliminates the stress, fatigue, and physical strain that can come with trying to do everything at once. Think about it. If you removed just one item a day, by the end of the year, that's 365 pieces of clutter gone from your home. And here's the real magic. You start to build momentum. Every small victory makes it easier to tackle the next. What once felt like an impossible mountain of clutter becomes manageable, even empowering. Let me tell you about Carol, a 72-year-old who felt trapped by decades of belongings. She started with just this rule. On day 1, she threw away a broken lamp. On day 2, she donated a sweater that no longer fit. On day 3, she recycled a box of old papers. Within 6 months, her living room was open, welcoming, and stress-free. Carol said, "It wasn't about losing things. It was about gaining space to breathe again." So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, before your coffee even cools, find just one item you no longer need. Place it in a bag, donate it, recycle it, or toss it. And feel the difference it makes in your heart, not just your home. But don't go anywhere, because hack number 2 might surprise you. It has nothing to do with closets or drawers, and everything to do with your safety and independence. Hack number 2. The Safety First Declutter Method. When most people think of decluttering, they picture closets full of clothes or garages overflowing with boxes. But for seniors, the most urgent place to start isn't the closet. It's the spaces you walk through every single day. Hack number 2 is what I call the safety-first declutter method. And it could literally save your independence. Here's why. 1 in 4 seniors in the United States experiences a fall every year, and clutter in pathways is one of the biggest hidden culprits. Something as small as a misplaced shoe, a stack of magazines on the floor, or an unused chair sticking out too far can turn into a dangerous trip hazard. I'll share a story with you. Jean, a 78-year-old grandmother, loved keeping her knitting baskets by the sofa. But one evening, when she got up to answer the phone, her foot caught on one of those baskets. She fell, broke her hip, and spent 6 months in recovery. Her family later admitted, "We wish we had just cleared that space earlier. It was such a simple thing." That's why this method matters. Instead of starting with overwhelming drawers or sentimental keepsakes, begin with your pathways, stairs, and bathrooms. Walk through your home as if you were a guest, or even better, imagine you were using a cane or walker. Do you see obstacles? Extra tables? Loose rugs? Anything that could trip you up? Those should be the very first things to go. Decluttering these high-risk areas doesn't just make your home look neater, it protects your health, your mobility, and your freedom. Because once a serious fall happens, life often changes in ways we can't undo. So tonight, I want you to do something simple. Take 5 minutes and walk through your living room, your hallway, your bathroom. Look down at the floor and ask yourself, if I were rushing to the door or getting up in the dark, what could put me at risk? Remove it. Move it. Donate it. Because here's the truth. Safety is the foundation of independence. And the less you have blocking your way, the freer you'll feel moving through your own home. Now, if you're thinking, but what about when new things come in? Won't the clutter just pile back up? That's exactly why hack number 3 is so powerful, and it's a rule that can stop clutter from sneaking back into your life ever again. Hack number 3, the 1 in, 2 out rule. Have you ever noticed how clutter always seems to creep back in, no matter how much you clear away? You donate bags of clothes, clear out drawers, and yet within a few months, the closet feels full again. That's because most of us declutter in one direction. We take things out, but we don't control what's coming in. Hack number 3 solves that. It's called the 1 in, 2 out rule. Here's how it works. Every single time you bring something new into your home, whether it's a shirt, a pair of shoes, or even a kitchen gadget, you commit to removing 2 items. Not 1, but 2. This may sound tough at first, but it's a powerful way to break the cycle. Imagine buying a new blouse you love. Instead of letting it squeeze into an already overflowing closet, you decide to donate 2 tops you never wear. The result? Your closet actually gets lighter, even while you're enjoying something new. And here's the truth. Seniors, especially older women, often hold on to clothes or items from decades past. Things that no longer fit, or that no longer make them feel confident. Using this rule turns decluttering into a natural habit, not a once-in-a-while chore. Let me share a story. Susan, 68, told me she was drowning in handbags. Every time her daughter gifted her a new one, she kept adding it to the pile until she had over 20 purses stuffed in her closet. When she started practicing the 1 in, 2 out rule, things changed. The next time she got a bag, she donated 2 older ones to a women's shelter. She said it felt like a weight lifted off her shoulders, and she loved knowing her things were helping someone else. This hack works for more than clothes, too. It works for dishes, books, shoes, even furniture. The key is this: every new arrival is also a chance to let go. And over time, your home doesn't just stay decluttered, it becomes filled only with the things you truly love and use. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the things I can't let go of? The sentimental items. The things that carry memories. Don't worry, hack number 4 is designed for that exact challenge. And it's one of the most freeing methods you'll ever try. Hack number 4. Use memory boxes for sentimental items. If there's one reason decluttering feels impossible for so many older women, it's this: sentimental items. The dress you wore on your anniversary. The sweater your daughter knitted decades ago. The postcards from trips you took with friends. These things don't just take up space, They hold memories, pieces of your life, and sometimes even the people you've loved and lost. That's why hack number 4 isn't about throwing those things away. It's about honoring them, without letting them overwhelm your home. And the best way to do this is by creating a memory box. Here's how it works. Choose one special container. It could be a beautiful box, a chest, or even a simple storage bin. The rule is this: if it's truly sentimental, it belongs in that box. If it doesn't fit in the box, you decide whether it's time to let it go or take a photo of it so the memory can live on digitally. This method helps in 2 ways. First, it protects your most precious items so they aren't lost in piles of clutter. Second, it sets a loving boundary, reminding you that not every item carries equal weight. Let me share a story. Margaret, 74, was holding on to boxes of her children's school papers, every drawing, every report card, every scribble. Her garage was overflowing, and she felt guilty every time she looked at it. When she tried the memory box method, something changed. She picked the 5 drawings that meant the most, placed them in her box, and let the rest go. She cried, yes, but afterward she told me, now I see the best of their childhood, not the clutter of it. And here's the truth: the memories don't live in the objects. They live in you. The box is just a way to keep the most important ones close, without drowning in the rest. So here's your gentle challenge. This week, find a box. Walk through your home and gather only the sentimental items that make your heart light up. Place them in the box. Close it. And feel the peace of knowing your memories are safe, without filling every shelf and corner. But here's the thing: even after setting aside sentimental items, many older women struggle with something else: the constant just-in-case clutter. You know, those things you keep because you might need them someday. Hack number 5 is going to tackle that head-on, and trust me, it's one of the most freeing hacks of all. Hack number 5. The just-in-case declutter rule. Let me ask you something. How many times have you kept an item because you thought, I might need this someday? Maybe it's an extra set of mixing bowls, a coat that hasn't fit in 10 years, or a drawer full of mystery cords from electronics you no longer own. This is what I call the just-in-case clutter. For older women, this kind of clutter can grow silently for decades. And here's the truth: 90% of the time, that someday never comes. The item sits, untouched, taking up space and energy. That's why hack number 5 is the just-in-case declutter rule. It's simple but powerful. If you haven't used an item in over a year, and it doesn't hold deep sentimental value, it's time to let it go. Think about it. That coat you're saving just in case you lose weight? Every time you see it, it's not inspiring you. It's quietly reminding you of something you haven't done. That stack of empty jars in the pantry. They're not being used, they're just taking up space. And those cords. If you don't even know what they belong to, chances are you'll never need them again. Let me share a story. Ellen, 70, admitted she had an entire closet filled with just-in-case clothes. Suits from her old job, dresses for events that never came, shoes she couldn't walk in anymore. When her granddaughter helped her go through it, Ellen realized she hadn't worn most of it in over 15 years. She donated nearly everything, keeping only the pieces that truly fit her current life. She later told me, I thought I was losing things, but really, I was letting go of guilt. And that's the beauty of this hack. It helps you stop living in the what-ifs and start living in the now. You don't need a closet full of just-in-case. You need a home full of what actually serves you today. Here's a simple test. Pick one drawer, one shelf, or one corner of a closet. Ask yourself, if I needed this, would I even remember I had it? And if I didn't have it, could I find or borrow another? If the answer is yes, you can let it go. Because here's the truth: clutter isn't just about space. It's about energy. Every item you keep just in case weighs on you, even if you don't realize it. Freeing yourself from it is like taking a deep breath after holding it in for too long. But now, let's move to something even deeper. Because hack number 6 is not about things you might use, it's about things you don't even notice anymore, the hidden clutter that's quietly shaping your daily life without you even realizing it. Hack number 6. Clear the hidden clutter zones. Sometimes the most exhausting clutter isn't the pile in front of you. It's the hidden clutter you've stopped seeing. The drawer in the kitchen stuffed with pens that don't work, receipts from years ago, and rubber bands you'll never use. The medicine cabinet filled with expired pills. The freezer that's holding mystery containers from who knows when. These places don't scream for attention, but they quietly steal your peace every time you open them. And the truth is, older women often live with these hidden clutter zones for years, because they seem too small to matter. But they do matter. They shape how calm or stressed you feel in your own home. Hack number 6 is all about tackling these forgotten spaces, the clutter you only notice when you need something. Start with one drawer, one shelf, or one cabinet. Take everything out. Ask yourself, do I actually use this? Does it serve me now? If not, it goes. Here's a story. Patricia, 72, told me she felt her home was always chaotic, even though her living room looked neat. When we walked through together, we found that her drawers, closets, and cabinets were overflowing. Every time she tried to find something, she ended up frustrated. We spent a single afternoon decluttering her kitchen drawers, and afterward she said, "I feel like my whole house got lighter just from fixing this one space." That's the hidden power of clearing these zones. You don't just remove stuff, you remove the little bursts of stress you feel every time you dig through a pile of junk. And that stress adds up, day after day. So here's your challenge. This week, open one hidden clutter zone in your home. Don't ignore it. Clear it out. Even if it's just one drawer, you'll feel the weight lift instantly. Because here's the truth, your home should serve you, not frustrate you. And when the hidden clutter disappears, your daily life becomes smoother, calmer, and so much more joyful. But now, let's move into something that takes decluttering to a whole new level. Hack number 7 isn't just about clearing space, it's about reshaping your habits so clutter doesn't creep back. And it all starts with creating one simple daily ritual. Hack number 7. The 10-minute daily declutter ritual. Now, one of the biggest fears many older women share with me is this: what if the clutter just comes back? You work so hard to clean, donate, and organize. But a few months later, it feels like you're right back where you started. That's because decluttering isn't just about one big clean-out, it's about creating little habits that protect your peace. And that's where hack number 7 comes in, the 10-minute daily declutter ritual. Here's how it works. Every day, pick one small area, a nightstand, a drawer, a corner of the living room, and spend just 10 minutes decluttering it. No more, no less. 10 minutes is short enough to feel doable, but powerful enough to keep clutter from ever creeping back in. You see, clutter often builds in layers. One day it's just today's mail, the next it's last week's shopping bags, and before long, the pile feels overwhelming. But when you tackle it a little at a time, you stop the layers from ever forming. Let me share a story. Gloria, 69, told me she used to spend entire weekends overwhelmed by clutter. It felt like a mountain she could never climb. But when she tried the 10-minute ritual, something shifted. She kept a timer on her kitchen counter, and every afternoon she'd pick one tiny space. Some days it was her bathroom counter. Other days it was a shelf in her closet. After just a few weeks, she said, "For the first time in years, my home feels peaceful and I didn't have to exhaust myself getting there." And here's the beautiful part. This ritual isn't just about stuff. It becomes a moment of mindfulness. 10 minutes where you remind yourself that you're in control, not your clutter. 10 minutes where you're building a home that feels lighter, calmer, and more joyful. So here's your challenge. Try this today. Set a timer, choose one small spot, and let go of what doesn't serve you. When the timer rings, stop, and notice how much better that space feels. But here's the exciting part. Hack number 8 will take this even further. Because while the 10-minute ritual keeps clutter away, hack number 8 shows you how to make sure the clutter never even enters your home in the first place. Hack number 8, the incoming filter rule. Here's the truth, decluttering your home once is powerful, but if you don't control what's coming in, the clutter will come right back. And for many older women, the biggest challenge isn't what's already in the house, it's the steady stream of new things that never stop arriving. Junk mail piling up on the counter. Freebies from events you didn't even want. Clothes bought on sale that don't really fit. Gifts you feel too guilty to say no to. Slowly, without even realizing it, the clutter comes back in through the front door. That's why hack number 8 is so powerful. It's the incoming filter rule. This means that before any new item enters your home, you pause and ask 2 simple questions. 1. Do I truly need this? 2. Does this add joy or value to my life today? If the answer is no, it doesn't come in. Let me share a story. Louise, 68, told me she used to spend hours decluttering her closets every year, but somehow they always filled up again. When we looked closer, we realized she had a habit of buying clothes on clearance, not because she loved them, but because they were cheap. She adopted the incoming filter rule, and within months, her closet stayed manageable. She said, "I didn't just stop clutter, I stopped wasting money and energy on things I never really wanted." This hack works beyond shopping too. Junk mail. Toss it before it enters the kitchen counter. Free tote bags. Politely decline. Gifts you don't need. Graciously accept the thought, not the item, and donate what doesn't serve you. Think of it like this. Your home is a sanctuary, and the incoming filter rule is like a gatekeeper, protecting it from becoming overwhelmed again. Here's a simple challenge. This week, before you bring any new item through your door, pause. Ask those 2 questions. You'll be amazed at how much easier decluttering becomes when the clutter never makes it inside in the first place. But now, let's move even deeper. Because hack number 9 isn't about stuff coming in, it's about your environment and how the spaces you live in can either invite clutter or protect you from it. And this one might surprise you. Hack number 9. Design clutter-free zones in your home. One of the hardest parts about decluttering is that clutter has a sneaky way of spreading. You clear the dining table, but a week later, the mail is back, the magazines pile up, and suddenly, it's cluttered again. That's why older women often tell me, "I feel like I'm constantly chasing clutter, but it always comes back." Hack number 9 changes that. It's about creating designated clutter-free zones in your home, sacred spaces where nothing gets dumped, ever. Hack number 9 changes that. It's about creating designated clutter-free zones in your home, sacred spaces where nothing gets dumped, ever. For example, your kitchen counter. Imagine how much calmer you'd feel if it was always clear, ready for cooking, eating, or simply enjoying a cup of tea. Or your nightstand. Instead of being crowded with books, glasses, and lotions, it could hold only what truly helps you rest. These zones are not just about looks. They're about creating areas of peace that your eyes and mind can rest on. A clutter-free zone says, "This space is for me, not for stuff." Here's a story. June, 74, decided her dining table would be her first clutter-free zone. At first, it was hard. Mail would land there, groceries would be set down, and clutter crept in. But she made a rule: everything had to be put away immediately, no exceptions. Within weeks, her table became a symbol of calm. She told me, "When I walk into the room now, I feel lighter, like I have space to breathe." That's the beauty of clutter-free zones. They give you little islands of peace inside your home. And when you see how good those islands feel, it motivates you to expand them into other areas too. So here's your challenge. Pick one spot today. It could be your coffee table, your dresser top, or even just one chair. Declare it clutter-free, and protect it fiercely. Over time, you'll find these zones changing how you feel in your home. And now we arrive at the final hack, the one that ties everything together. Because hack number 10 isn't just about stuff or spaces, it's about mindset. And when you embrace this last hack, decluttering stops being a task and becomes a way of living. Hack number 10. Adopt the less but better mindset. At the heart of decluttering, there is one truth every older woman eventually discovers. It's not about how much you own, but about how much truly serves you. That's why hack number 10 is the most important of all, adopting the less but better mindset. This isn't just about tossing out clothes or cleaning shelves. It's about shifting how you see your home, your belongings, and even your time. Instead of holding on to things just in case, you choose only what brings real value, beauty, or comfort to your life. Imagine this, a closet with fewer clothes, but each one fits you perfectly and makes you feel confident. A kitchen with fewer gadgets, but every tool you use daily and with joy. A living room with fewer decorations, but each piece holding meaning and memory. That's what less but better means, not deprivation, but intentional abundance. Here's a story. Maria, 71, once told me she felt surrounded by things yet deeply unsatisfied. She had a full closet, full shelves, full drawers, and yet, she felt empty. When she began practicing less but better, everything changed. She donated clothes she never wore, pared down her kitchenware, and kept only what made her smile. One day she looked around her home and said, "For the first time in years, I feel free. My home finally reflects who I am today, not who I used to be." And maybe that's the secret of decluttering in our later years. We're not just clearing stuff, we're redefining ourselves. We're saying, this is who I am now. This is what matters to me today. So here's my challenge to you. As you look around your home this week, ask yourself, am I keeping this because I truly love it and use it, or because I'm afraid to let go? And if it doesn't serve the woman you are today, release it with gratitude. Because at the end of the day, decluttering isn't about the things you lose. It's about the peace, the clarity, and the freedom you gain. And if this video has spoken to your heart, don't let it stop here. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss another story, another tip, another gentle push to live lighter and freer. Leave a comment below and tell me, what's the one item you're finally ready to let go of? I'd love to hear your story, and I promise, your words will inspire another woman watching today. Remember this, your best years aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting. And when you live with less, you create more room for joy, for freedom, and for the life you truly deserve.